Well, let's dive straight in, because I know one of the things that you and I were talking about previously is all the new search functionality that LinkedIn's rolled out, and how people could make better use of that to get better results from the platform. What are some of the different search options that you would draw people's attention to, and how do you find people can make best use of those to get better results?
Yeah, I have to say I'm a bit of a fan of the search. It's not very sexy, I'm going to be honest, but you know, sometimes we have to get sort of down and dirty a little bit. So yeah, for me the search, it's fundamental for any proactive elements that we're trying to do on LinkedIn. And I find a lot of people, you know, let's face it, LinkedIn hides it away just a little bit. Go to the top left-hand corner, they click and type something into the search box and off they go. For me, the best way to actually find out all the new stuff that LinkedIn's put in is just to do a blank search. So I tend to encourage people to sort of reveal it, if you like, by just clicking in that search box, doing a blank search by pressing return, and you'll find that actually it then displays 9 buttons underneath, and this starts to show us and give us a sort of guide almost to the different things you can do. I think we're all fairly familiar with the searching for people, but we can also search for companies. We can search for events and then people within it. And the one that I think's really sort of come to the fore, particularly with LinkedIn's algorithm taking such a prominence nowadays, is the posts search, where we can start to actually look through all of the content on LinkedIn. And for me, that's been a real sort of, well, it's a continuing developing area, but it's an important one with all the content being thrown at us. I don't know, an example if I may. I mean, I tend to divide the searches into 2 different types. One is targeting, so the people search and the company search. That's very much, you know, we're searching them out by certain characteristics, whereas we've also got the engaging search, where we're looking at the posts perhaps, you know, what people are interested in, the conversations that are taking place, but also groups, okay? Got a bit of a sort of bad rap of recent and a little bit sort of less used, but the events one is also a place where we can identify where people are almost congregating, if you like, to find out stuff. And for me, each of those different areas has its own sort of capabilities, and ones that we should be able to tap into.
I must admit, I find the content search particularly worth exploring, Mark, because a lot of people I talk to, you know, will grumble that the homepage feed maybe doesn't show them everything they want to be seeing, and they know they're missing out on posts from people they're particularly interested in, for example. I find the content search is a really great way of just each day seeing, you know, in my instance, what have people been talking about when it comes to social media or LinkedIn or marketing, or even just looking for people who've said, you know, help or recommendation. You know, then you'll start to see people in your network who've been asking for recommendations of this or that, or asking for help with this or that. It's a great door opener to then be able to, yeah, you know, help them and start a conversation. But that's for your own. I think then you can also flip that and use it to search outside your network as well. So if you're trying to, you know, get yourself in front of a bigger audience, also do that content searching for people outside your network, and then you'll find lots of conversations to join as well. Have you found that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you've picked out a nice couple of examples there. I mean, firstly, even for my own content, if I want to look back and try and find a post, if I go to my sort of posts and activities area on my profile, then of course it's you know, they could do top, you can do chronological, but what I can't do is a word search. Well, within the post search you can. So I could put myself and say, just show my posts, and then I can search for a term that I've used in it. So I can start to pull those out. Same with my connections. If I want to support my connections, but only support the stuff that they're publishing, rather than seeing the things they've commented or they've liked, which of course is where the homepage brings it, then again, I can specify first degree connections, sort them by most recent, so I've got that coming through. And then the ones you just mentioned there, which are ideal, they've introduced a whole range of new filters, so I can look at specific person's posts, Again, you can then apply keywords to that. And as you've mentioned, looking out for people who are talking about a certain topic. Whether it's thought leaders, whether it's people who are getting lots of comments, then that's great. And if we just be a little bit sort of cagey about it, then of course we can take that across to that matching up the business requirement. So if I was approaching a new organization, well, one of the filters is only show me people who post from and who work at a certain organization. So it allows me to see the most active people on LinkedIn from a potential target company that I'm interested in talking to. Or if it's an individual, of course, I can then follow their feed and I can then make sure that I'm commenting, I'm visible, allowing me to get into their notifications area and make sure that I'm someone at least who's in their line of sight, which is great as well. So there's a whole host of different things. And let's face it, if we've got sort of 4 or 5 people that we're particularly interested in, or 10 people, let's say, then we can actually build that up. So we can say, show me this from these 10 people, and then having created that feed, if we just copy the URL at the top of the screen and put that away, I tend to either put it into my bookmarks or I put it into a Word document, we can actually build up now, and at a single click, a whole list of content from the people we want to see, and more to the point, people that we want to be seen by.
Really good.